Hey Baker Art friends, it's Mrs. Herbay. I thought it might be fun today, since we have another snow day, to make a sort of little 3D sculpture where you are riding a sled. And if you can't get outside to sled, the cool thing about what we make today is you'll be able to kind of pretend with it. You can pretend that you're sledding even if you don't have a chance to do it in the real snow. So all we're going to need is a piece of copy paper, and you're going to need a glue stick, some scissors, and some things to color what we end up making. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do with our piece of copy paper is we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to fold it in half so that our paper is vertical. Okay, so that means that it's the tall ways. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half like a hot dog. So we're going to take the right hand side and we're going to bring it over to the left hand corners like that. We're going to line up our corners. Okay. Then we're going to hold it with our left hand once it's lined up. And then what I like to do is take my pointer finger and swipe over. Then I'm going to swipe up and swipe down. Okay, now our piece of paper is folded in half. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to draw two rectangles on our piece of paper. And so to kind of give you an idea of that, what I want you to do is we're going to kind of come over maybe about a fingernail's width, right? So my fingernail is about this wide. So if I put my finger kind of on the edge here, I can kind of put a mark here. Okay, and you can kind of see that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to come over maybe about that far. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a vertical line. So it's basically I'm creating sort of like a border. So I'm going to draw a vertical line like this on this side. And what I want to do is I want to try to keep that line straight, okay? And I want to try to keep it the same distance away. If you have another piece of copy paper or a little bit stiffer paper, what you could do is you could kind of line it up like this, right? And then you could use that as an edge to draw that straight line. Okay? So there is my first line, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is we can flip our paper, and I'm gonna do that same thing on the other side. So there was kind of the mark, and then I'm just gonna line up my piece of copy paper, and I'm gonna draw my next line like that, okay? So now I have that, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm across the bottom, it's maybe going to be a little bit higher up than my finger, my fingernail. So it's going to maybe be across like there. Then we can rotate our paper. And I'm going to bring this line down just a little bit. And then I'm going to go across here like that, okay? And again, if you wanted to use your paper instead as an edge, you could kind of line it up with your mark and then draw your line so it's nice and straight. So there, Mrs. Herbay's line wasn't super straight, okay? So now I have this rectangle. And the cool thing is that we need two of these. So here is a really fun trick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our paper over to the back side, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold it over again on this side, okay? And then what we're gonna do is while it's folded, we are going to cut out this rectangle. So go grab a pair of scissors and then we will cut this out. All right guys, so now we're going to cut out our 2 rectangles. So just holding my paper together, I'm going to snip off that end, okay? I'm going to leave the side that is the fold to cut last because it's going to hold these 2 pieces of paper together, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along this one. I'm going to rotate, cut along here. And then the last line I'm going to cut is the line that is along the fold. Okay, and so now I have 2 identical rectangles. One is going to end up being the sled, and the other one is going to end up being you. And then we're going to put them together, okay? So cut your papers and then we'll go on to the next step. All right guys, now that we have 2 rectangles, we're going to put one aside, and the first one we're going to turn into our sled, okay? And so what we need to do is we need to divide the bottom here into 3 equal parts, okay? So just kind of roughly try to figure it out. So I'm going to put a mark here and I'm going to put a mark there. And those look like they are, this space is roughly equal to these spaces, okay? Let's say you're having a little bit of trouble. Just try to, if one is too small, move it over a little bit, and then just try to kind of adjust it so that then the middle equals the 2 sides, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper and we are going to fold it in half. Again, we'll fold it, our paper is now horizontal, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the right side and we're going to move it over to match up with the left side, like that, and we're just going to, again, swipe and fold, okay? So now my paper is folded in half, and so what we're going to do is we're going to draw 3 vertical lines up that are going to extend just a little bit beyond this fold, okay? And again, we could use our same trick as we did before, where I can, to make that line straight, I can use another straight edge and kind of line it up, and you can see, oh, if the space here isn't equal to the space up here, then I just need to straighten my paper so that it looks about even, okay? And that looks pretty even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line, and it's going to go just maybe about this far beyond the fold, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing over on the other side, where we're going to line up this edge, and again we're going to make sure that this edge has equal distance between this edge and this line so that our line is straight. And then again I'm going to draw up, and I'm going to end at the same spot that I ended this one, okay? So essentially you can just put like a little dashed line there, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up just a little bit here, and same thing, we're going to put a little bit of a dashed line, okay? So we have a dashed line here and a dashed line here. And that is all we're going to need to worry about right now for the sled, okay? So we're going to put this aside, and then we're going to get out our next rectangular piece, which is going to help us to draw ourselves. All right, guys, now we're going to focus on drawing us. And then after we draw us, I'll show you how we're going to make some cuts and folds and turn this into a 3D kind of fun thing to do, okay? So the very first thing I want us to do is let's turn our paper horizontally. And what we want to do is we want to fold it in half like this, okay? And now we have our paper folded in half, okay? And our paper is vertically. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a few, do a few things to divide up our paper. The first thing that we're going to do is we're gonna come down just maybe this far, okay, right here. And we're gonna draw a very light horizontal line across here, like this, okay? But we don't wanna make it very dark. This is gonna be kind of the line that we're going to start to, this is the line between the top of our body and our legs. So this is kind of our waistline, all right? Now, what we're gonna do is at the bottom of our piece of paper, we're going to make some little marks that are going to divide up our paper for our feet, for our boots, okay? So what I want you to do is we're gonna come in just a little bit on this side, and we're gonna come in just a little bit on this side. Probably about that much, okay? Then what we're gonna do is we're going to divide up, we're gonna come over about this far, and then we're gonna come over about this far, okay? So we have, we've divided this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different spaces, but the spaces each have, are a little bit different as far as where we put our marks, okay? And this is gonna make a little more sense in a minute. Then what we're gonna do is up at the top here, we're gonna come in about this far on this side, and then we're gonna put a little mark, and then we're gonna come in about the same amount on this side, okay? And then what we're going to do is, as you can guess, is we're going to connect this line and this line, okay? And if you would like, if it's hard for you to draw a straight line, what you can do is we can take a piece of paper and line up the edge with this mark and this mark, and we can draw up to that line there. And if we want to, we can go up a little bit further. You'll see why in a minute, okay? Then what we're gonna do is we're going to do the same thing over on this other side, where we're gonna take our piece of paper, we're gonna line up the edge with this mark and this mark. And we're just gonna draw our line. It's okay that our line went up a little bit higher, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute, okay? Right now, though, we're gonna be focusing on our legs. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to come down from the middle here about this far, okay? And we're gonna just make a line in the middle here that's maybe like that. And so what's gonna happen is then we're gonna end up drawing a line from there to here and from there to there. And as you can see, what that's gonna do is that's gonna make the middle part, that's gonna be the space in between our legs. So you can kind of see, to give you an idea of how that's gonna work. So then same thing, we'll line up this edge and this edge, and then I have one leg, and then I'll line up this edge and this edge, and I'll have a second leg. Ta-da! Okay? Then what we're gonna do is we're going to divide up our legs into a few different parts. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna come up maybe about this far, and same thing as we did up by our waist, we're gonna just draw a really light line that goes across. Actually, that's a little bit too far. We're gonna draw a light line that's maybe goes up about this far, okay? This is Herbay's gonna erase this one. Okay, And you're going to see in a minute why that line is there. We're going to draw a horizontal line here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a curved line just underneath that line. And that's kind of what boots look like if you're looking at someone in a straight on. Okay? And then same thing, I'm going to draw a curved line that goes up and around, but it's a little bit underneath that line. So these are the front of our boots here. And then what we're going to do is we'll go up a little bit of a ways from there, maybe like around here. And I'm going to put a horizontal line there and a horizontal line there. And then I'm going to draw the top of my boots. So I'm going to put another horizontal line there. And then I'm just going to make some vertical lines for my boots, okay? And then the last line we're going to put is, this is kind of where we're going to end up folding our paper in this spot. So again, we're going to just put a light line right there above our boot line, but we're not going to actually draw on it. It's just, so these lines are just light fold lines, okay? Now here is this is where our snow pants meet our jacket, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of follow up in the middle here, and we're going to go up about this far. So we're not going to, if you think about, we still have quite a bit of space up here, and if you think about your body, if we go up too high, your body's going to be too long, and if we don't go high enough, your body's going to be too short. So it's kind of going to be right around here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a horizontal line across right there. Now, where we drew our lines up here a little bit higher, you can kind of see now how that's going to connect to our jacket, okay? And then what we can do is we're going to draw a vertical line in the middle of our jacket there. And then what we're also going to do is then we're going to, from this line here, what we're going to do is we are going to curve out and then come down. And then we're going to pass this line here and come down a little bit further. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a horizontal line there, okay? And then we're going to put another horizontal line. That's going to be the top of our mitten. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a curved line here. And that's the curve of our mitten. And then what we're going to do up here is we're just going to take away a little bit of this line. So it's more like that. So there's kind of where our armpit is. So then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side, where I'm going to curve out and come down. And then it's kind of easy. I can kind of slide across. There's the top part of where my mitten is sticking out of my jacket. And then same thing, I'll kind of slide across, and then I'll make the curve for my mitten, all right? And then again, I'll erase underneath my armpit, okay? So now I have my jacket done. And the cool thing is that you can jazz up your jacket if you want to. Maybe you have pockets on the side. Maybe you have some decorations on your coat. However you want to decorate it, you can decorate it. And then at the top of this, where this line was, we're going to draw a scarf. So we're going to kind of curve up and then back down like that. It's kind of a nice, big, thick, woolly, warm scarf. And then we have some space over here. We can kind of come out and draw the edge of our part of our scarf that's hanging out. And then what we're going to do is over on the edge here, we're just going to kind of draw a curved line out like that, and then a curved line kind of up like that. And this is going to be the start of our face. And then just for fun, what we can do is we can kind of draw a diagonal line kind of coming like this. And that's going to be the top part of our hat. And then we can curve up. And then we're going to curve back over. Like that. That's going to be the top part of our hat. And then we're just going to curve up like that. Maybe put a pom-pom. And then curve back like that. So there is my hat. And now what you can do is you can, let's say if you're a boy, maybe you just have a little bit of hair peeking out of your snow hat. If you're a girl, maybe you have more hair sticking out. Since Mrs. Herbay is a girl, I added extra hair here on the sides. You could even, if you wanted to, you could draw your ears. On the side. And then we're just going to draw a simple face. So I'm just actually going to draw circle, circle, little curve for a nose, and then a smile. Okay. And then once you finish drawing you, okay, so we have our sled and ourselves drawn. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to decorate this, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to put it all together. All right, guys. Now what you can do is I would take a black marker, whether it be a Sharpie or whatever kind of marker you have. And what we're going to do is I'll show you the lines that we're going to outline. We're going to outline the arms, the mittens. Here, Mrs. Herbay is going to get a different Sharpie because mine is not very juicy. Okay, here I'm back. So yeah, we're going to outline the jacket. So go ahead, you can outline all of your details, and then we're also going to, we can outline this line right here, and this line right here of your sled, okay? And then once you get yourself outlined, I'll tell you the next step. All right, guys, now that we have our drawings outlined, the things that we aren't going to outline are just this little light line that we put here and here, because those are going to become fold lines. After you outline yourself, feel free to add all different kinds of colors, decorate your outfit, decorate you, and then for your sled, if you would like to color the sled brown or whatever color your sled is, that would be great too. And then after you get everything colored, then I'll show you how we're going to put it all together. All right, guys, I hope you had fun decorating yourself in your snow outfit. And I colored my sled sort of a red color. You'll notice I also colored the back up into the point where these lines end, and you'll see why in a minute. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this all together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our sled ready. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut along these lines that we drew originally, and we're going to stop where they end. Okay. And then if you recall back, we put a little dashed line right here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to, oops, Mrs. Herbay didn't go up quite far enough. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to fold this back like that. Okay. And if you recall also, we put a little bit of a dashed line right here on the end of this piece. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to fold that up like that. So we should have this piece. This is folded up like this. This is folded back like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue. See how we kind of have this little curve here? What we're going to do is we're going to glue this right about here. Okay? So grab a glue stick. Mrs. Herbay's going to grab her glue stick. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the end of this little tab right here. So I'm going to swipe it with some glue. Okay. And then again, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to glue it right here. Kind of like, and I'll just hold and press it. So from a side view, kind of now have this little curve like this. All right. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the ends of these long ends, and we're just gonna maybe take a pencil or a Sharpie and just wrap them around something that's round and kind of roll it up and then pull it out. Okay. And it's kind of curling the ends of, and if you want it a little bit tighter, maybe use I'm going to use a crayon. It's a little bit smaller. You'll get kind of a little bit more of a twist. Okay. And then I'm going to do that with the crayon here. Okay. And then I kind of have these curves here like this. So this is essentially my sled. Okay. Then what we're going to do with ourselves is we're going to cut ourselves out really carefully. So we're just going to cut around all the nice dark outlines that we outlined ourselves with. And we're going to just do it nice and carefully. If you guys want to go ahead and do that, I'll speed up my video and then I'll meet you on the other side. All right, guys, we're almost done. There's just a few little important things that we need to do before we're finished. So one of the things we're going to do is, if you notice, before we put these little light lines here right above our boots, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to fold back our legs along that fold line. Okay, so we're going to kind of take our leg and fold it back along that fold line. And again, I'm going to find, this is where I had my little fold line, and I'm going to take it and fold it back almost so that if I was kneeling, now I'm kind of kneeling. Okay. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to, where our jacket meets our legs, we are also going to fold. So you can kind of see like this. Now I'm kind of sitting up, all right? And then we're also, that line that was a little bit right above our boots, we're also just going to fold. Those are going to get folded up like that. So it's kind of like up, down, and up. So it's like, there we go, like that. Okay. And then the last thing that we're going to do is this. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut along to free our arm from our body. We're just going to cut up a little bit, maybe about halfway up our arm. Okay, so now my arm is free to move around. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to cut up like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of where that ended, we're just going to kind of diagonally fold our arm kind of in like that. Okay, it's kind of like just like that. And then up here too, I'm just going to fold it diagonally in like that. Okay, so now here's the deal. We are going to end up positioning ourselves onto our sled, which is going to be kind of fun. And you can kind of see I fit right on there. And then what you can do is to make yourself permanently sit onto your sled. What we can do is we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom side of our bottom, across here, like this. Then I'll line myself up on my sled, kind of how I want to be riding it. Give it a good squeeze. And then here I am. I'm sitting on my sled. And here's a fun thing that you can try with this is you can, if you want to build like a little hill in your house, these, because it's slippery, it will slide. You can kind of have, you can slide this down a fun slippery surface to pretend like you're sledding. So I hope you guys had fun with this. If you have brothers or sisters, you guys could build, you could all build one, make one, and then you could have sled riding races inside your house if you want to. So stay warm, and I'll talk to you soon.